was someone who was inclined to tattoo phrases onto my body, this is the phrase that I would put somewhere very prominently that I could be reminded of and see all the time. If you clicked on this video, you already know what that phrase is, and that is pain now or pain later. So much of life, so much of parenting, so much of the challenges that we face boil down to this exceptionally simple, not easy concept. And in today's video, I am going to explain to you how I see this come up in my life all the time throughout the day, how you can bring this to the forefront and why you even want to do this. Why would you want to have pain now instead of pain later? I hope that I can convince you by the end of this video. But first, if you're new here, hello, my name is Julie. I run the Confident Parenting podcast here on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm a mom of 3 young kids. I also coach moms. I help them go from feeling like they're just surviving or barely getting through to feeling like they can thrive, feel less overwhelmed, feel more in control of their lives, or at least, you know, we have the illusion of control, and that makes us feel better because that is why one of the reasons parenting is so hard. I would love to have you here as a subscriber. I post a lot of life hacks and how to declutter and organize your home so that it runs more smoothly, so you can have more time for the things that you find important in life, more joy, more fun. So if that's something that's interesting to you, make sure you subscribe, give this video a like, and let's jump into why I think you should have pain now and not later. I'm not sure where I came across this phrase. I cannot be the first person that made it up, but it has been a theme that has been coming up a lot for me, especially the start of a new year. You know, we all want to kick it off fresh, motivated, feeling productive. And I don't know about you, but January kicked my butt for many reasons. All the things that are going on in the world, there's always that never seems to stop. But then just personally, lessons that I needed to learn and struggles that I've had. And specifically this week, a few of my kids have been sick, which means they've been missing school, which means the time that I set aside to work or do things or do projects or hobbies or just have time to breathe before it gets chaotic again when they come home, that goes out the window. So it's been a lot of frustration management, feeling like I can never get the things I want to do done, feeling out of control, feeling overwhelmed. And one of the things that I know would have helped me was if I had implemented the pain now versus pain later concept. So if I had done a whole lot of work previously, pain now, things that maybe I didn't feel like doing in the moment, I would have had an easier time when my children are sick from school and I don't have that time to work or just kind of collect my thoughts, right? Pain now versus pain later. I notice this in everything that I do. For example, do I open the dishwasher, unpack the dishwasher at night, like when I'm tired and I want to go to bed, pain now, clean up the kitchen, set out the kids' clothes, do the laundry, or do I do it later, which is the next morning, right? Do I set myself up for success by going through the pain now of doing something I don't want to do when I'd rather just read a book or watch TV or scroll on my phone at night versus having the chaos of the morning where now I have to sort out their clothes, unpack the dishwasher, prepare their lunches, get everything ready, and then have a lot of pain later. Another example, do I take the time now to be stricter with my children with regards to boundaries? Maybe that's with regards to curbing how much junk food they eat, how much screen time they consume. It could be enforcing better reading habits, things that are hard to do, pain now. Things that I feel like, do I force my child to brush her teeth every single morning when she categorically has a complete meltdown, hurricane level storm, because she doesn't want to brush her teeth? Pain now versus pain later when in a year's time or however long it takes, the dentist is telling me that she has a cavity and needs to have a filling at whatever years old. Pain now versus pain later. Just inherent in our lives that when we think about our future selves and we think about how we can be kinder to her, it is going to involve some kind of discomfort in the now. And I was also thinking about how I feel like this is how people are successful. They are pain now versus pain later people, but they are the pain now, less pain later people. And that's why they become successful. So if you're wondering why things might not be working out for you, or you're struggling to keep up with a workout routine or to get into a good reading habit, or you want to be more productive at work, or you want to be promoted within work, or if you're an entrepreneur, you're self-employed, why are you not achieving your goals? Have you considered the pay now, pain later philosophy? Are you prepared to do the work now so that you can reap the benefits later? Social media, turns this into kind of like a toxic thing because we see all these people that become overnight successes. Like you've never heard of them and all of a sudden they're, I don't know, winning Grammys or winning big awards, flying around in fancy jets because they have all this money, or buying 7 homes because they went through the pain now most of the time, and now they're reaping the benefits later. Whereas a lot of us want to be in the comfort of now. Like as a human, it is incredibly hard to forcibly make yourself uncomfortable when you don't have to. It's different if someone is forcing you to do something out of fear or intimidation or shame. These tactics never really work for long-term success, by the way, scientifically proven. So don't go shame and instill the fear of God in your children. It's not going to work. But typically, we don't want to be pushed out of our comfort zone. So we're not going to do things that make us uncomfortable, that make us afraid, that, challenge us in any way, or maybe take away from the creature comforts of sitting on the couch and just eating a bag of chips, or, sleeping in all day. We can't, it's hard for us to really fathom the benefits of pain later. If you can somehow push through this boundary, and I just find as simple as this telling myself pain now or pain later does help me to bring it back to reality. That's why I said if I had to tattoo something on myself, I would put that somewhere where I could really see it. So it's a visual reminder for me, because there's so many things that I don't want to do now. Like there's so many things I would prefer to do than pushing myself and making myself do something that's uncomfortable. It's just the way it is. But when I actually break through that boundary and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this now. And there are tactics and strategies to be able to do it. And I will share those with you. I am so happy that the happiness overrides the immediate comfort that I feel in the present when I get to that future point, if that makes sense. A lot of word salad going on here, but you know what I mean? Like I had this experience where I am trying to put out a video every day on my Instagram and my YouTube, or almost every day. Like I can take a day off and it's not about being perfect, but I just want to get into the habit and practice of it. So if you're interested in seeing what I do on Instagram, make sure you go follow me over there. But I want to be able to do that. It's hard because I have to often pre-film things, pre-plan things with kids and life. I cannot just be filming all day long. You need certain conditions to be able to do that. And so I had a situation where I had a block of time, probably like 45 minutes, and I needed to edit a couple of videos, just short videos, literally short videos. And I don't really enjoy editing. It's not something that I like. It's not really why I do this. It's part of it, but it's not what I like to do. I think of everything else that I could be doing. But somehow I sat down, I was like, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm just gonna import the footage. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. And I managed to edit those videos. They're very short, they're quick, they're easy. And the next morning when I was able to post them, I felt like $1,000,000. The other thing that happened was that guilt and that worry that was hanging over my head and not allowing me to enjoy my life in that moment, that went away. So once I'd edited those videos, I could go back to my family. I could 100% focus on them. I didn't have this task hanging over my head. And this is the benefit of pain now versus pain later. When you hold the procrastination and you stare it in the face and you actually just do the thing, you feel so good because you did something hard. You built up your self-esteem, and this is what we do with our kids. We help them do hard things. It builds up their sense of self-concept and self-esteem, and you feel amazing. And that feeling of freedom, mental freedom, this doesn't have a price on it, for me at least. As someone who can get anxious and worry about silly things, I'm just worrying and wasting mental energy going around in a tailspin when I could just do the darn thing. Like I could just have the pain now versus pain later. So let's talk about strategies of how you can actually tackle your pain now, whatever that might be. So I've spoken about this a lot, but if you are struggling, let's say resetting your kitchen the night before so that in the morning you come downstairs and you have a clean kitchen, you're starting off on a clean slate. I'm just using a super simple example. You can do whatever, use whatever example works in your life. But say, you've been working all day, you have children, you have a spouse, you have friends, you have obligations, you're exhausted. The last thing you want to do is like reset your kitchen to the factory settings. And I mean like clearing off the countertops, spraying it down, making it smell nice, clearing the sink, just making things look and show your house to sell it. Okay, maybe it doesn't have to be that fancy, but whatever that is for you. I always put on a podcast. This really helps me. It keeps it allows me almost to go on autopilot. It keeps my hands busy, but I'm listening to something so my mind is taken off from the task. This is why people run or exercise with music, because they can focus on the music and then they're less focused on the discomfort. So I find that super, super helpful as a tactic. The other thing that I do, and I do this all the time, and I've read about this a lot and researched this in habit, philosophy and material and resources, is that your brain gets incredibly overwhelmed when you say, I need to clean the whole kitchen, right? It's too much, and your brain will convince you that you can't do it. And it's very convincing, and you will listen to it and you won't do it. And then you feel terrible. And then the next morning, the whole cycle repeats because you should have done this the night before and you're shaming yourself for the fact that you didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. What I tell myself, and this is a trick that you should use, is I will say I'm going to wash one glass. I'm going to wipe down one section. If we're getting into the decluttering examples, I'm going to go through one tiny little drawer. And something about momentum and action. Isn't that Newton's law? Like what starts in motion stays in motion. Getting started is the hardest part. If you can get over that hump and convince yourself you're going to just wash one glass or one cup, inevitably, it's like, why would you only wash one? You've gone to all the effort of like heating up the water and the soap and whatever. You're going to wash more, and you end up washing all of them. And it's an autopilot thing. So if you can combine something that maybe distracts your brain if you're feeling very tired and your head is loud, and also with just one small task, the smallest thing you can break it down, you'll be able to deal with the pain now, and you'll be able to do it. And then what happens is it becomes more of a habit because you do it over time. And this is not going to happen instantly. At least it doesn't happen like that for me. You will need to do this over and over again. Like if you're trying to make your bed every day, you're going to probably have to do that for like a month before it becomes such second nature that you can't not make your bed, right? Pain now versus pain later. So it's just hacking your brain a little bit and then reveling in the feeling and thanking your past self when you get to that future point of like, wow, I did this. I tackled something that I didn't want to do, and I'm reaping the benefits of this. I have mental peace. I have more time. I feel more productive. I can take on something else. I have more space to think of ideas and be creative. And I don't know, you might be able to use that time now to dream up your vacation that you want to do next year, or think of a new hobby, or have an idea for a blog post that you're going to write, or you might think of a friend that you haven't thought about, and now you actually have the time to text them or, call them, whereas before you're running around like a chicken without a head. And in parenting, this hack is absolutely life-changing. I also tell this to my children. I'm sure I was told some version of this as a child, but I really want to put this in now. Like my kids are getting into sports and activities, and they're advancing in school, in school grades, and it's going to get harder. It's going to get more challenging. It's not fun anymore as it was when they were little. And so they're going to have to do a lot of things that are pain now for peace later. We're now going to switch it for pain now to peace later. My son plays a lot of tennis, and the only way that you get good at tennis is putting in the reps, the pain now. And he enjoys it, but I'm sure there's some days that he doesn't want to do it. And there's things that they're now implementing in their tennis lessons that are not as fun, like 100 ab crunches or push-ups. These things typically are not they don't scream fun, at least not to me. So it is really important that we teach our children this principle of putting in the work now to reap the benefits later, and training them in this mindset that nothing really worth doing in this life comes without effort and energy and consistency. And so if you can help your kids have a healthy relationship towards pain now versus pain later, or pain now and peace later, I think you'll be doing them a massive favor, a massive service. You will really be guiding them, because you can apply this to absolutely anything in your life. You want to work out? pay now, peace later. You want to eat healthier and meal prep, pay now to meal prep, peace later when you have your meals all prepared for you. I mean, it applies to everything. Those are smaller, more personal things, but to your work life, to your family life, everything. And I think it's such an important concept to really embody. And it's something that I've been reminded of a lot over the past month and just actually throughout my life. But I always am just so grateful to myself when I take the time to put in the work now and reap the benefits later. And I don't do it enough. And I really need to be embodying it more. So this is a video just as much for you as it is for me, because I need to remind myself, and seeing as I'm not going to go and tattoo pain now versus pain later, I need to make physical evidence that this is something that I am going to be prioritizing moving forward. Let me know if you try this out. Let me know how it impacts your life. I would love to know how you're going to use the concept to improve your life. And with all of that said, I would so appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, share this with someone that might need to hear this today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.